Hello everyone, I hope all of you are doing well and all of you have watched my previous lecture video on introduction and importance of thermodynamics, and we have discussed the application areas also. So today we are going to see the importance of dimensions and units. So we will straight away move on to the lecture. So what is a dimension and what are the units? So dimensions and units, even though familiar to you, if it's a question to define, and if somebody is asking a question what dimensions are and what units are, it will be not easy to answer, right, in a sentence. So any physical quantity can be characterized by dimensions. For example, the mass is characterized by dimension m, right? When you are assigning a magnitude to this mass, that is, mass is usually measured in kilograms, so that is called as unit. So the magnitudes assigned to the dimensions are known as units. I hope it is clear. Then there are two types of dimensions: primary or basic dimensions and secondary or derived dimensions. Primary and secondary dimensions. The base dimensions or basic dimensions and the secondary one are derived from the primary. So you know the primary dimensions are length L, mass m, time t, and temperature T, right? So these are the primary dimension. When coming to the secondary dimensions, you have like energy, velocity, volume, right? Velocity is most commonly expressed as c in most of the thermodynamics textbooks in order to avoid confusion with this volume v. Okay. So mass is usually represented by capital M. In if you are representing it in dimension, it will be capital M. Uppercase M we are using. Okay, so I just now corrected it. Now coming to the second category, I mean units. There are a number of units have been used if you look into the history, and still we are not able to arrive at a common system of unit around the world. There are two different types of units in practice till today. Today also you can see different system of units: English system and metric system. English system is also known as United States Customary System, USCS, United States Customary System, that is English system. And on the other hand, there is System International D units, that is commonly known as International System, that is a metric system, which is very simple and logical. It is because it is based on decimal relationship between various units. But on the other hand, the English system is pretty confusing and difficult to understand. There is no systematic numeric base for the English system. Various units are connected arbitrarily in the English system, not like the metric system where there is the relationship is based on the decimal. Now there is an important point to be noted in dimensions is the dimensional homogeneity. Suppose when you are calculating the number of fruits you have in your hand, suppose you have apples, mangoes, oranges, pears, etc. in your hand. Suppose you are adding total number of fruits. You will add all these fruits together, apple, mango, pear or grapes together, right? But that is not correct. But we do practice. We know that is wrong, still we do it, right? But when coming to an equation, especially an engineering equation, every term, each and every term in an equation should be having the same dimensions. That is known as dimensional homogeneity. So every term in an equation must have the same units. Obviously, the dimension should be the same, the unit will be the same. So frequent checking of dimensions. So you should check the dimensions as well as the units of each and every term when you are performing a calculation. Numerical example, when you are solving, for example, when you are solving a numerical problem, you should check the correctness of the equation by checking the units of each and every term, especially on both sides of the equality sign. So no two quantities of different dimensions should be added, as I said in the case of this fruits. But no two quantities of different units. For example, you should not add force and energy, because force is having the units of Newton, energy is having Newton meter, right? So you should be very careful while adding or subtracting the different terms. Now coming to the System International Day units, that is International System of Units, SI, commonly known as SI. So these are the fundamental base quantities in SI system. Kelvin is a unit for temperature, meter for distance, ampere for electric current, seconds for time, mole for amount of substance, kilogram for mass, and candela for electric intensity, light intensity. So these are the primary SI units with the symbol mole for the amount of substance. The unit symbol is MOL, lowercase MOL. Okay. In many places you might have seen this capital M. That's not the correct. MOL is a full name. Okay. Whenever you write the unit name, if it is written in full, everything should be in lowercase letters. You can see here, even Kelvin. K is not uppercase, it is lowercase. But when you write as a symbol, it should be capital K. But for second, it is smallest, lower cases. Kilogram, K as well as G should be lowercase. It's not like capital K. Many places you might have seen for kilograms as well as kilometers, K is written in capital letter. It is a misnomer. That's not correct. Candela is capital C, uppercase C and lowercase t. Ampere, uppercase A. Meter is lowercase m. Always it is lowercase m. Now coming to the derived units, that is secondary units. So these are some of the examples: area, meter square, then meter cube for volume, velocity meter per second, acceleration meter per second square, hertz for frequency, Newton for force, then pressure. The SI unit is Pascal. Newton per meter square is written as Pascal, PA, uppercase P and lowercase a. Then energy as well as work are having units of joules. It is abbreviated as capital uppercase J, or Newton meter. This is another way of writing joules, Newton meter. Pascal similarly could be written as Newton per meter square. Power is measured in watts. It is in watts, joule per second. Joule per second. Now it is very important in SI system to use prefixes like kilo, mega, giga, hecto, deca, deci, like that. If it is kilogram or kilometer, you know that it is multiplied, the base unit is multiplied with, for example, kilometers. It is meter is multiplied with 1000, 10 to the power 3. Right? If it is mega, it is 10 to the power 6. If it is nano, it is 10 to the power minus 9. So it is very important to remember all these prefixes, especially these 6 which are shown in this pink color: giga, mega, kilo, deci, centi and milli. These are commonly employed in almost all the calculations. So instead of specifying, for example, energy, instead of joules, we use kilojoules, right? And power, instead of watts, most commonly expressed in kilowatts or megawatts. And the dimension of length, most commonly in engineering drawings we use millimeters. mm, right? Mm. So meter and millimeter, so it will be mm, fine. If it is centimeter, cm, right? Decimeter, dm. Kilometer means it is km. So just an example. So similarly, you can prefix any unit with any of these symbols so that it will be a multiplier of this of tens. 10 to the power 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, or minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 6, minus 9, etc. So please make a note of this. Now just we will compare some of the important international system units and its counterpart in English units. For kilogram, you know that it is in SI, this is a unit for mass. Kilogram is a unit for mass. Now in English unit it is pound mass, LBM. LB stands for Libra. And pound mass, M, that is a unit for mass in English system. Similarly for length in SI you have meter and in English system it is foot. For second, that is the same. For time, unit for time is the same in SI as well as English system. The relation between the pound mass and the foot are also given here. You can see 1 pound mass is equivalent to 0.45359 kilograms. Similarly, 1 foot is equal to 0.3048 meters or 30.48 centimeters. Now for the weight, so usually weight and mass are interchangeably used, right? But that is not correct. So 1 Newton is actually, you know the story of Newton, right? When he found the gravitational acceleration and by falling an apple on his head. So 1 Newton is usually recognized as the mass of a small apple, which is almost equal to 1 or 2 grams. Similarly, if you have a pound force, which is the equivalent unit in English system, Newton is in SI system, and pound force, LBF, is approximately the weight of, mass of 4 apples. Mass of 4 apples. So kilogram force is another unit used for weight, that is the mass of 10 apples, 10 such apples. So these are examples for a different system of units for the same force. So as I said earlier, weight is often recognized as mass, especially those who are very weight conscious people, weight challengers. So but weight is a force determined from second law of motion by Newton. So the confusion arises because mass is usually measured indirectly by measuring the gravity force it exerts. So weight is a gravitational force, a force acting downwards towards the center of the earth. That is a weight. But still, so mass will be same whether we go to Mars or outer space. Mass will be same. Mass of any substance will be same, but weight will be the different. So that's how we can differentiate between mass and weight. So weight on the earth and weight on the moon will not be the same. It will be 1/6, right? You know that. So you should be very careful while using the terminology as well as the units. Now coming to another important fundamental derived quantity, energy. English system has British thermal unit as its unit, BTU. BTU is a unit for energy in English system, or USCS. That is the definition for BTU is energy required to raise the temperature of 1 pound mass of water at 68 degree Fahrenheit by 1 degree Fahrenheit. Suppose you have 1 pound mass of water at a temperature of 68 degree Fahrenheit. If you want to raise the temperature to 69 degree Fahrenheit, how much energy you need to supply to water? That is 1 British thermal unit. Similarly, in metric system, the unit for energy is calorie. So 1 calorie is defined as the energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water. 1 gram of water at a temperature of 14.5 degrees Celsius by 1 degree Celsius. Suppose you have 1 gram of water at a temperature of 14.5 degrees Celsius. If you want to raise the temperature to 15.5 degrees Celsius, the amount of energy you need to supply, that is 1 calorie. So relation between calorie and joule is given here. 1 calorie is equal to 4.1868 joules. And the relation between British thermal unit and kilojoules is given here. Almost, it is saying 1 kilojoule is almost equivalent to 1 British thermal unit. So that is 1 calorie, and the relation between calorie and joules is given here as 1 calorie is equal to 4.1868 joules, and 1 British thermal unit is equivalent to almost 1 kilojoules, where 1 kilojoule is the amount of energy obtained by burning a matchstick, and when it burns by its own without any external aid. So the 1 kilojoules of energy will be released when a matchstick is burned. Have you ever thought about it? So 1 kilojoules of energy we are getting when you simply burn a matchstick. Now another important parameter in commonly used engineering systems is power. Everywhere you might have observed the unit for power as horsepower, right, or BHP, brake horsepower. So what is the horsepower? So it is a horsepower is approximately equivalent to, so HP is a unit in the English system, and watts is the equivalent unit in SI system. So 1 horsepower is almost equal to 746 watts. 746 watts. So olden days, these horses were used to lift weights and for carriages and all. That's why the term the horsepower came into existence. So this is an example for horsepower to lift 550 pound mass through a distance of 1 feet for a period of 1 second. So that is 1 horsepower. So that is equivalent to 746 watts. So we have discussed about the different dimensions, units, the comparison between the system international and English system. So we have seen the relation between the units for force, energy and power. With that, we will stop the discussions on dimensions and units. We will continue the discussion on the fundamental terms in a series order in the coming class. That is very important if you are interested to learn thermodynamics, or even though you have learned thermodynamics, and I'll be presenting this in a particular order so that you can easily recognize and understand and memorize these things in an easy way. So please keep watching. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and share with your friends as much as possible. Let them get benefited, especially those who are into the mechanical engineering field for the first time. Thank you. Have a good day.